Okay, so what we're going to do right here is I want to take you through these two paragraphs and really point out not only which one is best, but the exact features of it. Okay, so you probably can guess just by glancing at it that paragraph B is in fact the better paragraph. It's much longer, and so what that means is that it's probably just going to have more information, and that is true, that it does have more information. Okay, so when we take a look at the first paragraph A, and we're going to find the topic sentence of that, and then we're going to compare that to paragraph B. So for paragraph A, the topic sentence is, music has had a very significant influence on my life. This is a very, very general topic sentence. It doesn't really give us anything specific. It just says kind of, I like music. Maybe almost anyone could write this paragraph, or they could write a paragraph with this topic sentence. It kind of applies to everyone, so it's not going to be unique or really interesting, um, you know, what this person is going to say. Okay, now let's compare it to the topic sentence of paragraph B, which says, music plays an important part of my life because certain songs and records remind me of important times in my life. Okay, so what we have here is a little bit more of a specific topic. And so it's kind of repeats the same information about music is important. Here's music is significant, important, music is important. And then it has this because clause. So it has very specifically certain songs and records remind me of important times in my life. Now, what this does is this makes it much, much easier to write this, okay? So for the first one, if you use this as your topic sentence, it's so vague, it's almost like you don't know where to start. There's so many different ways that you can start, so many different things that you can see, that a lot of times it's actually hard to even write anything at all. But here, when you say certain songs and records remind me of important times of my life, now if I'm trying to write this paragraph, now I have a much better way of doing that. I really can focus in on these specific times. So if it's more specific, it's easier to write about. Okay, then the next sentence after that is, when I listen to certain meaningful songs, I have vivid memories of different key moments and events that helped me to help shape me in the person I am today. So this person, after they say their topic sentence, they give one more sentence that really helps to explain the topic sentence. So it's almost kind of like we have two sentences here that are really the topic of the paragraph, and everything is going to follow under this topic, okay, about these important times, these important memories that this person has that had a big influence on their life, okay. And then when we break it down even more, we can see that there's actually only two things or two items that this paragraph talks about, okay? One important set of songs, that's one, and then when we get down here, we can see another important set of songs, okay, all the way down to here. So this paragraph really has a topic and then two pieces of evidence, okay, one and two, and then a little conclusion. Okay, now when we look at this paragraph over here, we can say, okay, very significant influence on my life. It's so very important to me, a lot of different aspects. I mean, that's so general and so vague, but this is kind of the topic. And then here's some explanation. I love to listen to music every day, and I do so when I'm doing different things. Okay, so that is a little bit specific, and so they're talking about how music helps them to, throughout their day, and they listen to it all the time when they're doing different things. That is one sort of explanation, or in this case it's an example or a piece of evidence, but what the writer doesn't do is they don't explain this. They just stop. They just end it right here, okay? And then they switch to a completely different topic or a different aspect. I love all different kinds of music. So now this is something that's completely not connected to the sentence before it. And these sentences could be mixed around. They could be in a different order. Doesn't matter. There's no connection between them. They're just kind of two different things. Then we've got another one. Music gives me energy when I listen to it so I can complete boring work. That kind of has to do with the first sentence up here, but not really. It's not really connected. Now it's talking about how it helps them to do different things so they don't get bored, okay? Then we've got a completely different topic, which is I also like to introduce my children to music, and there's another sentence here. These two sentences go together, actually. I also like to introduce my children to good music. We enjoy singing songs and dancing to good music. So those two sentences go together. But again, they're not connected to any of the other sentences here, and it's just like we have a list, okay? Then music makes me feel good. Okay, so here what we've got is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pieces of evidence in this paragraph that is supporting this very vague topic, and all of the pieces of evidence are so short, they're not specific, they don't give any kind of specific details. The result is that this is not a very good paragraph, and it's very boring too. Anybody could write this. It doesn't have anything interesting in it, and it's just not a good paragraph, okay? Although it does end with a little concluding sentence, that's good, but again, the topic here is just so general, it's not very good. Okay, now when we take a look at this one, and again we've got our opening here, okay, that's really specific, and then we only have 2 pieces of evidence, 1 and 2. But when we take a look at the piece of evidence, we can see that it has a lot of details in it. So let's take a closer look. One important set of songs that's very meaningful is the album Appetite for Destruction by the band Guns N' Roses. So now we're not only talking about something that is kind of specific here with using music, but the specific name of the album and the band, very, very specific. And then there's this example that is like a memory here. When I got my first part-time job at a restaurant, listening to those songs, is the memory. Hearing those songs makes me remember my first step toward adulthood. It's very, very specific, and this is very interesting, and it's really very meaningful, okay? I know I haven't had this experience, and maybe many of you don't have this specific experience with this record, but we can definitely relate to it because we've had similar kinds of experiences with other kinds of music. And then we take a look at the next piece of evidence, we see the same thing. So this very specific, talking about the album and all the sentences that tell us about it exactly, all the way down to here. So this is a very specific example, and again, maybe we haven't had this exact experience, but we can definitely relate to it because we've had similar experiences to this. So this is absolutely great, and this is what you want to do to make your paragraphs developed. Paragraph A is not developed. This could just be a list. the sentences could be on almost any order and it wouldn't matter. It's not interesting. It doesn't give us any details. Nothing is really explained. In paragraph B, we've got only 2 pieces of evidence. Each one is explained in a lot of detail, and it makes it really vivid, really interesting, and this paragraph definitely has a very strong point that we can get to. Okay, I hope that makes it clear. Let me know if you have any questions about this.